Hello everyone, welcome to Business Statistics class. So we have started with the second unit of statistics that was remaining, that is diagrammatic and graphical representation. We have studied the uses, limitations, and what we mean by diagrammatic representation. We have seen different types of diagrammatic representation. Today we'll study one by one. The first one is simple bar diagram. So in this simple bar diagram, we represent a statistical data by means of rectangular bars with a height proportional to the magnitude of the items, and it is called as bar diagram. So whatever the data is given, for example x and the corresponding values, for example year and the values, the years will be taken in the x-axis and the values will be taken in the y-axis. Each rectangular bar will be height proportional to the magnitude of the items given, that is the values which is given to the corresponding year. So usually vertical bars are drawn, but horizontal bars can be drawn as well. Simple bar diagram is drawn when the items have to be compared with regard to a single characteristic. So this is important when we will be using simple bar diagram, is that whenever we have to compare a single characteristic, then we have to use simple bar diagram. Here the items are represented by rectangular bars of equal width and height proportional to their magnitude. The bars are drawn on a common baseline with equal distance between consecutive bars. So even this is an important point. So the distance must be same between the bars, and the bar width also must be the same for each rectangular bars, and height will be proportional to the magnitude, and if you want you can shade the bars. So by this method, exports of a country in different years and population of different cities or countries can be represented. So here we are showing exports of one country in different years. So here we are comparing the exports of the same country year wise, or else we are comparing population, whether it is increasing or decreasing in years. So what you have to remember is simple bar diagram is, we will be using simple bar diagram when we want to compare a single characteristic, and here we will be drawing rectangular bars with height proportional to the magnitude of the items given. Usually vertical bars will be drawn, and the rectangular bars must be of equal width, and the distance between the consecutive bars must be the same. So let us see examples of simple bar diagram. The first example is profit after tax for a pharmaceutical company for the last 5 years is given below. Draw a suitable diagram. So what they have given is, they have given profit in terms of crores for a company, that is a pharmaceutical company, in different years, that is in the past 5 years. The company is same, we are comparing the profit made in each years for the past 5 years. So we can use simple bar diagram. So in simple bar diagram, first write the title. So this diagram is showing a simple bar diagram showing profit of a pharmaceutical company. First step is to plot the x-axis. So this is your x-axis. Here x-axis indicates the year and y-axis indicates profit in crores. It is important to write this, what is x-axis denoting and what is y-axis showing in the diagram. So once you plot x-axis and y-axis, taking the scale is of your choice. So in this diagram you can see the distance, the first distance from 0 is 1 centimeter, and one rectangular bar is of 1 centimeter. Then to draw the next bar, there is again a distance of 1 centimeter. So between each bars the distance is 1 centimeters, and the bar's width is also 1 centimeter. So we have maintained the distance between the consecutive bars equally and the width of the rectangular bar is also the same. Now coming to y-axis, you have to choose the scale such that all these values are covered. So you can take the scale of your choice. So from 0, the first value is 15. Then I have taken 2 centimeters with 1 crore rupees different. After 15 crores, it is 16, 17, 18, 19, and so on. So you have to draw this. This is called a false baseline because from 0 we are starting with directly 2016, and then the difference between the year is 1 year. But here from 0 to 2016 the difference is 2016 years. So that is the reason it is called false baseline. Similarly for y-axis, from 0 to 15 the difference is 15 crore. Then later for each 2 centimeters the difference is 1 crore. So we have to indicate that by using a false baseline. So once you take the scales along x and y axis, it is time to plot the diagram. So for the year 2016, the profit made is 15 crore. So 2016, mark a line and make it a rectangular box. If you want, you can shade it. So similarly, plot rectangular bars for the remaining years. For 2017, the profit made is 17 crores. So use a scale and do the diagrams neatly with perfect lines. So next 2018, the profit made is 18. So corresponding to 18, draw a rectangular box. And 2019 it is 16, and 2020 the profit made is 17. So seeing this graph, you can easily see that in the year 2018 the profit made was maximum, that is 18 crores. So just by seeing the picture we can comment about the data. So that is the advantage of diagrams. So let us see another example. Represent the following data regarding population of India by a simple bar chart. So they have given census year and corresponding population in crore. So census happens every 10 years. So for the first year 1931, the population was 28 crores. Then for the year 1941 it was 32, and so on. Till 2001 they have given the population in crore. So what we have to do is, first along the x-axis take the year. They have given the census year from 1931 till 2001, and along y-axis it is population in terms of crores. You can take the scale of your choice. Here 0.5 centimeter shows 10 crores. So it is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 and 110. So you can see the distance between the consecutive bars is the same. So for the year 1931, population is 28 crore. So after 20, this is 30. So the bar will be somewhere over here. Then for the year 1941, the population is 32. So this is your 30. So above that will be a 32. You can mark using the scales with taking the perfect measurement. So similarly, plot the rectangular bars for each year. Make sure that the rectangular bars are of equal width and the difference between each bar is same. And don't forget to write the title of the graph, what y-axis and x-axis represents, and don't forget to write the years also. So this was about simple bar diagram. The next one is component or subdivided bar diagram. So component bar diagrams are drawn when the data have items whose magnitudes have 2 or more components. So when we want to compare 2 or more items, then we go for subdivided or component bar diagram. So for example, the strength of a college in different years along with components. Male strength and female strength can be represented by component bars. Here the items are represented by rectangular bars of equal width and height proportional to magnitudes. Then the bars are divided so that the subdivision in the height represents the components. To distinguish the components from one another clearly, different shades are applied and an index describing the shades is provided. Component bar diagrams are drawn when comparison of total magnitudes along with components is required. So this is important. So when we'll be plotting component bar diagram is whenever we want to make a comparison of the total quantity or the total magnitude along with the components. So then we will go for component bar diagrams. So we will see with an example. So the question is, represent the following data regarding expenses of 3 families by subdivided bar diagram or component bar diagram. So here they have given items or the components, which is food, house rent, fuel and others. This is the monthly expenses in rupees for family A, B and C. So family A spends rupees 500 on food, 300 on house rent, 150 on fuel and 750 on others. Similarly, they have given the values for family B and C. So the first step is you have to find out the total expenses and you have to find out the cumulative total for each family or for the each individual quantity given. So here add the first column, that is expenses of family A, which is 500 plus 300 plus 150 plus 750. It turns out to be 1700. So the total expenditure of family B is, add all the quantities, it will be 3700 and for family C it is 5200. Once you get the total, then let us find the cumulative total. We know how to find cumulative total. So for that, keep the first value as it is, then go on adding the next corresponding value. So 500 plus 300 is 800, 800 plus 150 is 950 and 950 plus 750 is 1700. The last value and the total should be the same. So similarly, find the cumulative total for family B and family C. So what will be the first step? You have to find the total, then you have to find cumulative total. Once we find the cumulative total, then we can plot the graph. So here explanation is given. Here on adding the figures in each of the columns, the total expenditure can be obtained. So they are 1700, 3700 and 5200 respectively. The given figures are components of these total figures. Thus 3 bars with height proportional to these 3 totals are drawn. Then these bars are subdivided according to the magnitude of the components. The division of the bars can be easily done by using the cumulative total of the expenses. So we are finding cumulative total because we have to show the subdivision, that is we have to show the components in one rectangular box. So to get those components, we have to find the cumulative total. So to draw the height of the rectangular box, we have to see the total of each family. So here on the x-axis we have taken family and along the y-axis it is expense in rupees and the title is component bars showing monthly expenses. So you can take the scale of your choice and make sure the difference between each rectangular bar is the same, that is the difference between the consecutive bars is the same and the width of a rectangular bar is also the same. So you can't take 1 centimeter rectangular box for the next family, 2 centimeters for the next family, 3 centimeters. So you can't do that. For each family the rectangular bar should be of the same width. And taking the scale along y-axis is again your choice. So here for 1 centimeter it is 1000 rupees. So first let us plot for family A. So to draw the height of the rectangular box, what we have to see? We have to see the total. So here the total is 1700. So here there will be 10 lines again. The midline will be showing 1500. So the seventh line will be 1700. So this is your rectangular box. So once you draw a rectangular box, then it is time to divide into a sub components. So the first component is food, which is 500 rupees. So 500 rupees will be somewhere here, which is mid of 0 and 1000. So draw a straight line and shade in whichever choice you want. So here the shading is a cross lines, and whatever shading you are doing, you have to show it in an index. So here this particular component shows food, so it is clearly explained in the index. So the next one is, once you have marked this line, that is for food, the next one is 800 for rent. So 800 will be at the 8th line, which is somewhere here. So represent that with some other shade. Here they are representing with the straight lines, so that represents house rent. The next one is fuel, which is at 950, which is somewhere below 1000, and the rest will be the others, which shows 1700 rupees, so which is not shaded, and fuel is shaded with complete pencil shading. So whatever shading you're drawing for one family, for each component, the same should be done for other remaining families also. So now for family B, the total expense is 3700. So draw a rectangular bar of height 3700. So once you draw a rectangular box, then next let us divide it into a sub components. So for food, family B spends rupees 1400. So 1400 will be somewhere here. So plot a straight line and shade it with the same shading that you have done for family A. Then similarly plot for all the components and shade them accordingly, and the same thing is done for the family C. Here height of the rectangular will be the total of the expenses, which is 5200, which is approximately over here. So this is how a component bar diagram looks like. So what you have to do for the component bar diagram is first find the total. So then you have to find the cumulative total, and you have to draw a rectangular box to height proportional to the total given, and the components are divided based on the cumulative total. So there is another example. If a rupee spent on buying a lottery ticket has the following cost components, represent the data by component bar diagram. So here there is only one bar. They have given components, that is establishment cost, price amount, agent's commission and profit, and amount or paisa is given, which is 10, 25, 20 and 45. So what we have to do is first add it, which turns out to be 100. So 10 plus 25 is 35, 35 plus 20 is 55, and 55 plus 45 is 100. So now we got the cumulative total, then it is easy to plot a component bar diagram. Here the height of the rectangular box is 100 paise or 100. Here they have given the amount to be 100 paise. Along the y-axis it will be paise, 10 paise, 20, 30, 40, 50 up till 100. So establishment cost is how much? 10 paise. So this is your 10. So plot a straight line and shade it, and in the index show what is that shading representing. Here this the first component is of establishment cost. The next value is 35. So this is 30. So 35 will be somewhere here. So shade it with whichever shading you like and write it in the index. The next one is 55 over here. So it is shaded in a different pattern and it is index written, and the remaining shows profit, which is written in the index. So this is about component bar diagram. So we are using component bar diagram whenever we want to compare a total magnitudes along with the components. So the next type of bar diagram is percentage bar diagram. So percentage bar diagrams are drawn to represent items whose magnitudes have two or more components, and when comparison of these components as percentage is required. So as the name itself indicates, we are using percentage bar diagram whenever the comparison of two or more components has to be done in terms of percentage. So in such cases, percentage bar diagrams are used. Here the components are expressed as percentages of corresponding totals. The totals are represented by bars of equal width and height equal to 100 each. These bars are divided according to percentage components. The different subdivisions are shaded properly and the index describes the shades as provided. Component bar diagrams are useful in comparing total magnitudes along with the components, whereas percentage bars are useful in comparing percentage components. So what we did in component or subdivided bar diagram, we were comparing total magnitudes along with components, but in percentage bar diagrams we are comparing only the percentage components. So here each rectangular box will be of equal height, that is 100 each, because the total we are expressing for 100%. So let us see an example. The following data gives the student strength of a college in different years. Represent the data by percentage bars. So here they have given years, they have given strength of boys, girls and total strength in that corresponding year. For example, for the year 2000 to 2001, the strength of boys is 1200, the strength of girls is 800 and the total is 2000. So here the total strength has two components and they must be expressed as percentage of the total. So we will make a table. The first one is year. This is the percentage of strength. So to get the percentage of boys, it is whatever value is given divided by the total into 100. So into 100 because we want it in terms of percentage. It is just like obtaining the mark percentage of your examination. What we will do, marks obtained divided by total marks into 100. Just like that, here it is strength given divided by the total strength into 100. So for the first one it is 1200 into 100 divided by 2000, which is 60. For girls the strength is 800. So to get the percentage strength of girls, it will be 800 into 100 divided by the total strength, which is 2000, which turns out to be 40. And when you add these two, it should be equal to 100 because we are showing it in terms of percentages. If one component is of 60%, then the other must be definitely 40%. Both together will add up to 100%. Similarly, find percentage strength for all the remaining years. That is, for 2001 and 2, the boys' strength will be 1300 into 100 divided by 2600 for boys, which will be 50. And for girls, it is 1300 into 100 divided by 2600, which will be again 50, and it will add up to 100. So similarly, find percentage strength for each year. Once you get this percentage strength, along x-axis we are showing years, which is from 2000 to 2001 till 2004 to 2005, and along y-axis it is percentage strength. And don't forget to write the title here, the percentage bar diagram showing strength of students. So now, taking the scale is of your choice again, 0 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 60. Here 1 centimeters shows 20%, and again the rectangular must be of the equal width, and the distance between the consecutive bars must be of the same width or same distance. And note that in percentage bar diagram, height of each rectangular bar will be 100 because we are showing in terms of percentage. So for the year 2000 to 2001, total is 100. So the rectangular boxes of 100 obviously. So for boys, what is the strength, percentage strength? It is 60. So over here, so shade it according to your choice and write it in the index form. So this shading represents for boys, and obviously the remaining percentage will be for girls, which is not shaded, and it is written in the form of index. If you want, you can shade it also, like keep some lines or dots, but in index you show that also. So similarly for the next year, rectangular will be of the height 100, and the strength of boy in terms of percentage is 50, which is somewhere in the middle of 40 to 60. And then shade what you have shaded in the previous rectangular box. The shading should be same for all the years and for all the components of the same type. So this is all about percentage bar diagram. So here there is another example. The following table gives details of monthly expenditure of two families A and B. Represent the data by means of percentage bar chart. So they have given item, food, house rent, fuel and miscellaneous. So family A expenditure and family B. Family A spends 1400 on food, house rent he spends 1200, on fuel it is 700, and miscellaneous is 1000. Similarly, for each component the expenses of family B are given, and their income is 5000 for family A, and for family B it is 8000. So this we could have even showed in terms of component bar diagram, but they have asked to plot a percentage bar chart. So first add these and check if the total turns up to be 5000. Here when you add, we get the total as 4300. So here on adding, the total expenditure of family A comes to 4300 and that of family B comes to 5600, but the incomes are given, which is 5000 and 8000 respectively. Thus the balance amount is rupees 700 and rupees 2400, which can be treated as savings. From these we can compute the following percentage expenditure. So the first component is food, write it in the item, then house rent, fuel, miscellaneous. Along with this, when you add, if the total would be 5000, then that would not be a problem. Now here there is some amount remaining which is considered as savings. So savings for family is 700. There is another component we have to add, which is savings, which is 700 for family A, and for family B it is 2400. So once you get components, now it is time to convert into percentage expenditure. What we did in percentage expenditure, whatever is the given value into 100 divided by total value. Here the total value is 5000 for family A. This should have been 5000. So for food, the percentage expenditure is 1400 into 100 divided by 5000, which turns out to be 28. And for family B, similarly find the percentage expenditure, which will be 1600 into 100 divided by 8000, which turns out to be 20. Similarly find percentage expenditure for all. So now once you get percentage expenditure of each component, we have to show it in terms of subdivided bar diagrams, right? To get that, we have to get the cumulative percentage. In the previous problem, there was only two quantities which was understood. If one quantity shows 60%, then the remaining will be 40. Making cumulative makes no sense. But here the components are more, hence we have to find out cumulative percentage. So the cumulative percentage for the family A will be 28 plus 24, which is 52, 52 plus 40, so on, and the total should be 100 always. So in percentage bar diagram, what is the first step? Add the components, see if it equals to the total income given. If not, then add another component called as savings. Once you get all the items, then it is time to convert them into percentage expenditure. So to convert, we will be converting by using the percentage method, which is the given value into 100 divided by the total value, which is 5000 for family A. So once you get the percentage expenditure, then we will convert it into a cumulative percentage. The same thing is done for family B, and if another family was given, then the same thing will be done for the family C also. So once you get this table, then it is time to plot the diagram. Here the percentage bar diagram represents expenditure of families. So for family A, you can take the width of your choice. For both the families, it should be same. So here they have taken 2 centimeters for family A and 2 centimeters for family B. Along the y-axis, it is percentage expenditure. So 1 centimeter indicates 20, 40, 60, so on. So rectangular bars are of equal height, which is 100. So let us see for family A, the first component, the cumulative percentage is 28, which will be somewhere here. This is 30, so below that it is 28. So they are representing it with a straight line. So the first component is food, show it in the index. Then the next one is house rent, which is 52. So the next one will be somewhere here, which is completely shaded, write it. Then the next fuel, it is 66, plot it. Then miscellaneous, it is 86, and the savings is 100, which is not shaded. Don't forget to write this index, and the same shading is done for the next family. So this is all about percentage bar diagram. The next type of bar diagram is multiple or compound bar diagram. So we use multiple or compound bar diagram when there are two or more different comparable sets of values. So for instance, figure relating to imports and exports of a country in different years can be represented by a multiple bar diagrams. Here sets of rectangular bars of equal width and height proportional to the value are drawn. The bars corresponding to the same unit are placed together adjacent to one another. The diagram is shaded properly and an index is provided. So we are using multiple or compound bar diagram whenever for a given set of value we are comparing two or more different components or the sets. So the most commonly type of data represented by multiple component bar diagram is the imports and exports of a country for different years. So let us see an example. The question is represent the following data by multiple bars. For the year 1986 to 87, imports is given and exports is given in terms of crores. Similarly, from 1987 till 1989 to 1990, the imports and exports are given. So all you have to remember in multiple bar diagram is the bar diagrams for 1 year are drawn side by side, that is adjacent, without leaving any gap, but from 1 year to another year you have to leave some space, and the distance between the consecutive bars must be of the same distance. So along x-axis years are taken, and along y-axis amount in terms of rupees is shown. So for 2 centimeters it is 10,000, 20,000, 30, 40 and so on. In the middle it is 5,000, this is 1,000, 10,500, this is 25 and so on. So for the first year the imports is 20,096 rupees, so which will be somewhere over here. So draw a rectangular box here. For imports you can take rectangular bars of 1 centimeters, and for exports also you have to take rectangular bars of 1 centimeter, or else you can take 0.5 centimeters each or 2 centimeters each, anything of your choice. So here it is of 0.5 centimeters for imports and 0.5 centimeters for exports. So draw a rectangular box for imports, which is height is around 20,096 rupees. For the same year the exports is 12,452 crores, so which will be somewhere here. So draw another rectangular box attached to the first box and shade it in a different format, and write in the index what is the first rectangular box showing and what is the second rectangular box showing. Similarly, find a plot for the each year the imports and exports. For the next year the imports is 22,244 crores, which is somewhere here, and the exports is 15,674, which is somewhere here. Draw the rectangular box and shade in same way that you have done for the previous year. So with this diagram you can easily see for the year 1989 the imports is more as well as the exports. So we are comparing imports and exports for each year along with the past 4 years. So we can observe that the bars are of equal width and the bars corresponding to different sets are adjacent to each other. So the last set of diagram is sector diagram or component or subdivided pie diagram or pie chart. So this diagram is drawn whenever the data have magnitudes with 2 or more components. Here the total magnitudes are represented by circles with area proportional to magnitude, that is radius proportional to the square root of the magnitude. We will see how to take the radius of a circle in a problem, and these circles are divided sector wise according to the magnitude of components. For these, sectors are formed with angle at an center proportional to magnitude of components. The diagram is shaded properly and an index is provided. So to get the components, the formula is A is equal to C into 360 by M. If M is total magnitude and C is the magnitude of component, the angle at the center corresponding to that component is given by A, and this is the formula. Why 360? Because we know a circle is of 360 degrees. So let us see an example. Represent the following data regarding expenditure of two families by component pie chart. So they have given food, rent, fuel, education, miscellaneous and total, that is monthly expenditure in rupees for family A is given and family B is given. So when you add these it turns out to be 5,400, which they have directly given. So the first step is to find the radius of the circle. To get the radius of the circle, check the total value for both the families. So for family A it is 5400. So it should be represented a circle with square root of the total value. So square root of 5400 is 73.5, and for family B the total is 10800. So the square root of 10800 is 103.9. So if we are taking 1 centimeters is equal to 50 units, then the radii will be, so what you have to do for family A, it is 73.5 divided by 50, it is 1.47 centimeters, and 103.9 divided by 50 will give 2.08 centimeters. So you have to plot circles using a compass of radius 1.47 for family A and 2.08 centimeters for family B. If you want, you can change this. You can take 1 centimeter is equal to 20 units or 100 units or 150 units, anything of your choice. So if it was 1 centimeter is equal to 20 units, then it will be radii for family A will be 73.5 divided by 20, which will be 3.675. Therefore you have to take the radius of 3.675, which will give a bigger circle and a bigger picture. So anything of your choice. Then for family B it will be 103.9 divided by 20, which is 5.195 or 5.2. So the radius will be of 5.2 centimeters. So now we have taken 1 centimeters is equal to 50 units. So we got the radius. So now we will see how to plot the components. So here everything is same, but instead of taking in terms of percentage, we are taking in terms of degrees. So what we have to do is we have to convert for each family the given values in terms of degrees. So for family A, the first component is foot, which is 1800. So to convert it into degrees, what we have to do is given value into 360 divided by total. So it is 1800 into 360 divided by 5400, which is 120. So similarly do it for family B, which is 1800 into 360 divided by its total, which is 10800, which turns out to be 60 degrees. So for each component find the given values in terms of degrees, and when you add it should be equal to 360 degrees because the circle is of 360 degrees. So whenever you convert, you should get the total as 360 degrees. Just like in percentage, whenever you add each component, the total should be of 100. Similarly, for a pie chart, it should be 360. So don't forget to write the title, which is component pie chart showing monthly expenditure. Here we have taken 1 centimeter is equal to 50 units. For family A, draw a circle using a compass of 1.47 centimeters and mark a radii, which is a straight line. At this straight line you have to keep your protractor. I hope everyone know what a protractor is. So keep a protractor where its midpoint has to touch the middle point of a circle, and a protractor, I'll just show you. So this is how a protractor looks like. So this is the middle point and there will be a straight line. So you have to keep your protractor like this. So this line should join the line on the protractor. So from there mark the first component, which is 120. So wherever is the 120, just mark it and join it with a straight line. Then keep your protractor over here, it will be something like this. Then the next degree 60, from here mark 60 and similarly join the straight line. Then keep your protractor to that straight line and mark 30 degrees from there, and then join it with a straight line. So keep your protractor over here and then mark 30 again, and then the remaining will be the last component and shade them and write the shading in the index. Now for family B, with a compass draw a circle of radius 2.08 centimeters. Draw a straight line. Keep your compass over here. The midpoint should be on this particular dot, and the line on protractor should lie on this line. And from here mark 60 degrees. Then keep your protractor on the straight line. Mark 60 degrees. Then keep your protractor here. Mark 20. Keep it here, mark 20. The remaining will be 200 degrees. And do the same shading that you have done for the previous family and write it in the index. So if the circles are of the equal radius, then they will show the percentage components. Here these are of different radius, then it is a normal pie chart or subdivided pie chart. So there is another example. Represent the following public sector outlay in the sixth 5-year plan by sectorial diagram, which is nothing but a pie diagram again. So the items are given, the list of items are given, and the corresponding amount is given. So what we have to do, this we have to convert it into angles, which is the given quantity into 360 divided by the total will be your first angle in terms of degrees. Similarly, find angle degrees for all. Then to get the radius, take the square root of this and divide it with the unit that you require. Draw a circle and plot it just like we have seen in the previous example, and shade each component differently and write the shading in the index. So here first draw a circle, mark a radius, keep your protractor on this line, and you have to mark 98 degrees, which will be over here. Again join this line, keep your protractor on this line. Now from here mark 55 and so on, and shade differently for each components. So this was all about diagrammatic representation. So we have studied simple bar diagram, and then we have studied component bar diagram, multiple bar diagram, percentage bar diagram, and sector diagram or subdivided pie diagram or component bar diagram. I hope the concepts are clear. In the next class, we will start with graphical representation. Thank you.